Okay, right. So in my last video where I covered 3 entry-level ultralight reels, spinning reels, I alluded to my confusion regarding this reel. This is the new Shimano Nasci 500. I'm not a huge fan of 500 size reels, but I saw this cheap on eBay. It's brand new, still got the spool sticker on it, everything that it needs to come with in the box. We've got schematics, instruction manual, we've got some shims. So this reel has never, as far as I can see, been used before, and I was interested to see it because I've heard some really good things about the Nasci family, and when I first opened it, I was really not really taken, like, pleased with it. The colour is okay. So we've got this kind of nice, I mean, it's plastic body. We've got this plastic kind of light silvery metal body, matching spool, and a silver, a little tiny little bit of black detail on it. We've got Nasci there. We've got a little bit of black on the drag adjuster, and then so we've got silver, chrome, silver, silver, chrome, silver. So what colour should we do the handle? Let's do it black or dark grey. Why? It makes no sense. Why would you have one colour, maybe a slightly different tone of this colour, chrome, black? That, who decided that that was a good idea? So my first impressions from the aesthetics of it were not particularly great. The spool, I mean, it's a 500 size reel, it's going to be tiny, but this is really, really small. I wouldn't be putting things like fluorocarbon, or unless it's super supple, or certainly ester on this. So it looks like I'm gonna have to load it with braid. I'm not a huge fan of braided main lines, so that kind of put me off a little bit. The bail arm, I mean, it's nice and positive. Unfortunately, it does have anti-reverse. It is sealed supposedly, so we're gonna have a look at the drag stack as well. But once we can get this off, so there is rubber grommet there, just to seal, stop any water from getting into the drag stack. We'll have a quick look at what the drag stack looks like. There's plenty of grease in there, I can see that already. Okay, so we've got a felt washer, plenty of grease on. And then this obviously aluminium cap on the top of it, pretty basic, but the clutch is super smooth. Obviously I've got no line on it, so I've just been trying it out with my hands. Not had any issues with that whatsoever. Sorry, I'm just going to concentrate. I'll put that back in. So that's that back in. Yeah, so spool tiny, clutch nice, drag clicker. So it's got this metal clicking mechanism here with metal in here as well. So when we put this back together, sorry, this is gonna, plenty of clicks. We do have quite a nice sound there. It has got the kind of vents to make the spool a little bit lighter on there, so the sound is getting out. So far, you know, aesthetics not great, clutch nice, drag adjuster nice and positive. It's got a non-pinchy line clip, which is quite important maybe. But what I really wasn't impressed with is the resistance. I mean, as soon as you let go of that, that is stopping. That's almost like it's got brakes on it. I mean, I've got here, this is Daiwa Fuego LT1000. It's the high gear ratio one, so already, you know, it's probably going to be a little bit more resistance. But if we look at that, I mean, I am barely touching that. There is such little resistance on that reel. I've picked this one, sorry, because this is a similar price range and it's sealed, very much like this. So the Fuego, I think RRP is about $90, $80, $90. I picked this up off Marketplace for £45, I think I paid for it. No box, but yeah, it works really well. I'm going to do a more in-depth review on that at a later date. This, say I picked up second hand, but I mean, it's almost like it just stops. So I was really confused. It's like, why have this tiny 500 sized, and it is small. I mean, like, if you look at the two of these next to each other, it is a smaller reel. Maybe not so much length of the body, but it is a much more compact reel. This is 167 grams without any lining. This is 184 grams with 4-pound fluorocarbon, 0.18 millimeter diameter fluorocarbon on. So it's lighter, it is more compact, but that resistance is just... So I thought, what I would do, I mean, when I first got this reel, I was like, there's no way I am going to be using this. I'm going to contact the seller, I'm going to send it back. You don't expect to have a brand new reel where you need to take it apart in order to make it not even usable. Like, it's usable, but it feels like it should be better. It feels like either it's got too much grease in. I mean, I'm hoping that's the case and it's not just terrible. It's got the Hagane gearing system in, so it is super, super smooth. So I thought what I would do is, for the purpose of this video, is we'll take this reel apart, we'll have a look inside it, we'll see if there is too much grease in there. One thing that I did notice almost immediately is, so it's got screw handle. So if we take this off, is that there's already quite a bit of excess grease on the bearing in there. So maybe that's the issue. Maybe if we get inside it and have a look at it, we can reduce the amount of resistance on that, because I would use this reel. I've got a nice 4-piece Majorcraft Troutino Super Ultralight rod on the way, and I think that this nice small reel would fit and balance that rod really well. But if I take it apart and it doesn't seem like it's something that can be easily rectified, then yeah, then I think I'll be selling this reel on. So what I'll do is I'll keep the video running. I'll probably speed it up in terms of when I'm taking it apart, and then I'll slow the video back down when we kind of get into the mechanism itself. So here we go. I'll make a start. Okay, so let's see if we can get this to focus. So we are halfway through, and I've just taken this off. I've taken the rotor off, taken the anti-reverse switch, the anti-reverse bearing out, and we can hear some grinding from in there, and it is not particularly smooth. So let's see why that would be. So let's seal around it. Test water in the room. Okay, so we have now opened up the reel. What I am not seeing, which is what I expected to see, excuse me for a minute. Okay, so we've opened up the reel. What I was expecting to see is a lot more grease than this. There is some excess grease, but not a huge amount. I mean, it's not even excess really. It just seems to be an appropriate amount. So where I was expecting the resistance to be coming from, which was that maybe there was too much grease put in here, just not seeing that, which is a bit of a concern. What I was hoping for is that we'd open this up, we'd have a look inside of it, and that this would have been overfilled with grease, would have tried to clear it out a little bit, and yeah, that would have sorted out that issue. But that is not the case. It must just be that maybe with it having the anti-reverse on, that's just adding that little bit of extra resistance on here. It is well made. It is incredibly smooth. Those Hagane gears are just absolutely beautiful. So I don't really, at this point, I've taken some of that excess grease off. I can't see any major reason why that should be so stiff, other than just it's a 500 size reel and they've tried to put too much in there. I think if this was the 1000 weighs quite a bit more, which is why I was interested in the 500 over the 1000. You can see that rubber seal. So, well, I mean, there's the inside of a Nasci 500 for anybody who's interested. I'll put it back together and then we'll maybe talk through it again. It took me, I don't know, 4 or 5 minutes to take it apart. So I'll stop the video, I'll put it back together, and then we'll have another chat about it when it's all back together. But it's nice to see that seal there, so you know you would be comfortable using this in salt water, still rinsing it out afterwards, obviously. But I'll pause the video now, I'll put it back together. Yeah, and yeah, we'll do a final review of it, overview. The issue with the resistance has not been solved. It is not, it's still, I think it's a little bit better, but it's still not perfect. I don't know what to do. I mean, what do you think? Is it worth it? Is it worth keeping it? I think what I might do is, it's still there. I think what I might do is load it up with some braid, try and give it a go, see if I can get used to that increased level of resistance. I mean, it isn't a dreadful reel. It doesn't look terrible, apart from the black handle with the rest of the reel being silver. Go through some of the specs. So it's relatively low gear ratio, so 5.6 to 1, so 1 revolution of the handle is 5.6 revolutions of the rotor arm. It cares about 3 kilos of drag, 7 pound of drag. 170 grams is actually a bit less than that, it's 167. It has only got 4+1 ball bearings, so didn't see them, but there's one in the handle, there's one in the spool, there's one in the anti-reverse mechanism, and there's one in the bail arm. 69 centimeters per line brought in for every revolution. It's not bad. I think what I'll do is I'll take it on the bank, I'll give it a go, I'll see how I feel with it once I've used it a couple of times. My gut feeling is that I'll be selling this reel. I think there are better options for the money, such as the Fuego. But yeah, I'll certainly give it a go, and I hope that this review and breakdown has been somewhat useful. I can't say that I would recommend this reel so far, which is a shame, because I was really looking forward to use it. I do enjoy using Shimano reels. I love my Vanford. I think that's a brilliant ultralight reel. Obviously different price bracket, but Shimano do make obviously very good reels. It just seems to be that at the moment the kind of budget entry level ultralight reels just aren't quite there, I don't think, compared to the variety or the options that are available with Daiwa or with Suranoya. But anyway, well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please leave a comment, any thoughts. Took me a bit longer to get this back together because it's a 500, and yeah, everything's stuffed into there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully see you again soon.